And here we are.
My computer is really unhappy right now. Hello.
Hey everybody. It's our Sunday night special.
It is the Sunday night special, and it's the show that everybody thought we'd done before already. So this is a very exciting.
It's the Mandela Effect episode. Also, since we didn't have a show last night, happy birthday, Eric.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's such a pleasure to be here. This is what is this episode 104?
104. You know what? That's double your age.
129th movie. Or 128th if we've watched it twice, but honestly, we haven't. So what
if somebody broke into your computer and deleted? Well, we'll talk to everybody else, see if they think we watched it.
Because I checked the Facebook page, I checked
my
computer, I've checked everywhere.
It's an alternate timeline.
This movie before, but it's a movie I believe that everybody's probably, well, not everybody, but a lot of people could jump into the conversation tonight because we're going to talk about the Truman Show from 1998. So, yeah, hopefully we get some good conversation going tonight about Jim Carrey. Probably some varying opinions from what I've gotten a little insight for as we talk about Jim Carrey and the Truman Show. We want to do since it's just you and I, and it's my movie, we can do the specs before we bring everybody in.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
We could do that. So we're going to talk tonight about the Truman Show on the air, unaware. 1998, Jim Carrey, Laura Linney, Noah Emmerich, Natasha McComb. These names are really bad, not listed.
Well, most names are for you.
So we're going to ignore that. Peter Weir, $60 million, a worldwide gross of $264 million. Critics coming in at a 95%. The audience at an 89%. I was reading some extraordinarily positive reviews earlier today about this movie. But, we'll have to see what our people think.
Did you not have Ed Harris on there?
I know. I grab it straight from IMDb, who tends to put it in cast order as their appearance in the movie. Not, but it's the easiest click and copy and paste.
Okay.
You can find consistently for movie reviews. 90% of the time, it's fine. But we're going to talk a lot about Ed Harris and his performance in this movie. But first, we got to bring in some people to talk. But also, if you've never joined us before, please join us. So easy to join us.
If you've never joined us, please join. Oh, I see what you're saying.
EriDanLive.com. So easy. We want you to join.
And you just pop on and you can talk. And if you don't want to talk, you can just be in the comments.
That's true. And you don't have to stay the whole time. You could pop in for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Share a comment and leave. Right? Totally like that. Or you can stay the whole time. So let's talk to some people.
One ring to the moon. One ring to
It's Brittany.
It is.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, peachy. How are you?
Fantastic. It's a beautiful, beautiful night. Long weekend. Hopefully you get to sleep in a little tomorrow, maybe.
Bonus day.
Not us. We have a kid, so. Babies and sleeping just out the window anymore.
Well, it's true. But
you sleep when you can.
Yeah.
Sleep when you can. Absolutely. Speaking of sleeping when you can.
Hello.
I am 90% sure my computer is just going to shut off mid broadcast.
Okay.
So be prepared. If I just disappear, I'll be in the middle of a reboot. Hello, Stacy and Wade.
Hello.
All the way from Chippewa, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yes. Fresh off the heels of watching the new Top Gun movies, which we will talk about later.
Yes.
We will have, but first, we've got to bring in our own top.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
I'm just enjoying a lovely Coke. It's a new generation.
It's funny. I had my Advil ready in case I got a headache during the show.
Now that's a beer.
Talk about how Advil. Who are you talking to?
And oh my goodness, fresh out of the comments, actually on with us tonight. Cody is here.
Wiki. Wikipedia.
goodness, what a wild night it is. Cody, how are you?
Oh, just peachy. How are you?
Oh, you're peachy as well.
Stop it.
What?
Were
That's
you
what
here when
Brittany
I
said.
started?
She
No.
said peachy.
Get out. That's exactly what I said.
That's been my saying for like 2 months now.
It's been my saying for like 15 years. Sorry,
So
Megan.
What are you guys from Georgia?
No.
Let's
I
go
have
to
the-
the
Are you big fans of the presidents of the United States?
No.
Millions of peaches, peaches for me. Wasn't that the band?
Yeah, they beat
Yeah.
the lump.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
guy lives on Bainbridge Island, the lead singer, guitar player.
Wow. How about
Yeah.
that?
Not
Are
a
they
name
still
drop.
together? Do they still perform? Is that still?
I don't
thing?
know. He was cast for Baby Pants for the longest time. He was Chris Ballou. He was doing his own like children's. I think his kids are out of high school now, so he decided to stop doing that.
I had no idea.
Yes.
Yes, we heard a lot of Casper Baby Pants on Kids Place Live on XM.
Oh,
And Adam is here. He's out and about.
You guys should ask Adam about last night.
oh, why was Adam with you?
Kind of.
Really?
Kind of. It's hard to. It's not hard to
Oh.
explain. I just want to see him explain it.
Adam, are you cheating on us? Are you going on other shows?
You swipe right on Adam.
He just
Wow.
can't be tied down. He's a stallion must run and run free.
Yep. He must, and he did.
Lenny,
Yeah,
that's
your
what they're
video
always
is
saying.
very
You gotta
jumpy,
run and
Eric.
run free.
All right, so here we go into the movie talk. You know, it's the Truman Show. This
Very
I
Max
honest-
Headroom-esque look to your video, Eric.
yeah, I know. Give me about 3 minutes. That'll subside in about 3 minutes. But my voice is okay, so you can hear what I have.
Yeah,
to
we can
say.
hear you okay.
You can imagine what I look like, so don't worry about it. At the end of the day, this is one of my favorite movies. I do love this movie. I have seen this movie probably at least a dozen times. I am prepared for those people who don't like this movie, but I find this movie incredibly enjoyable. And again, I believe we covered before we got on the air that Brittany, this was her first time ever seeing this movie.
Ooh.
I don't know if there's others who have never seen. Oh, and Cody's first time movie. So
I
would
never
love
knew
to hear-
I've heard that saying that if like Dan has said it before, and I think it's been said on the show before. Like if I don't see you,
Oh, that's at the very end of the show.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like,
I didn't know where that was from.
And now,
There you go.
well, you've learned something.
Eric, I've got the background for you.
Education.
Yeah, I like it. Very Max
Nice.
Frewer of you.
Matt Frewer.
Yeah, Matt Frewer.
So Brittany, what was your takeaway from the movie first time?
I enjoyed it actually. I was a little bit.
Echoey?
Yeah, I am echoey. I don't know why I'm echoey. I don't think it's me.
I'll mute myself to see if it's me because I got all sorts of issues.
Okay. Yeah, it was not what I was expecting. I guess I didn't really go into it knowing what to expect because I've been trying to do like what you guys do, or if you haven't seen it, you don't like look too much into it. And it was just like it was super, super strange. I did see like a little bit about the concept of it just in looking up where I could watch it. But I did enjoy it a lot. It was different. It's something that I don't think I've ever seen in any of the movies that I've watched. I've never seen like a concept like that. And I like that they, did address it. This was like super unhealthy. Like I was like, that poor kid, like growing up, his whole life's a lie and you have no idea. And then even thinking about it from the perspective of all of these other people who are a part of the show that consumed their whole lives. Like you wasted your whole life on this. Like it was just a little silly, but I don't know. It was a really cool concept. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be an extra on a TV show for like ever.
Yeah, but then you didn't get to live your own life because you were too busy pretending to be somebody else.
Well, I assume like they'd go in, they'd have shifts, right? If you were just an extra in the background, you wouldn't have to be there every day, right? You would probably put in your 40 hours a week and go home.
Well, that's
and,
how
like,
he
do
knew
the-
certain people were going to be in certain places because they were working their shifts.
And you work your 5 days a week because you have the different people in on the weekend schedules who are playing the characters he would see on the weekends. And
But what about like the best friend that
The
he
best friend
knows
was
for
totally different.
like?
Oh yeah, the best friend. Well,
I mean, I call my friends any given day of the week at any time. I'm not
I
on a
guarantee
schedule
you
for when
he
I
was
can call them.
very well compensated because he was very much Christoph's man. I mean, Meryl was a bit conflicted in some ways, not because she felt morally objectionable, but because she didn't find it very tasteful. Whereas that guy was clear. I mean, Christoph was actually dictating his dialogue to him.
Yeah.
So, he was very wealthy, I'm sure.
You know, in the back of my mind, that was Michael Rappaport the whole time. Like, I kept thinking it was Michael Rappaport who played that guy, and it wasn't. But that guy could be Michael Rappaport.
Maybe he'll play his best friend. Who knows?
But you figure that guy. Here's the thing: you have to realize that guy was a child actor.
That's true.
Right.
Because he started at 7 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been his best friend since he was 7. So he's got some mental issues, as most child actors end up having.
That's fair. That's fair.
But he always has
it was
All
just
those
weird.
people are out of work. All those people are out of work at the end of the movie because they can't.
And that
pick
guy
back
finally got out
up.
of the bathtub, probably.
I love the guy. Honestly, I love all the people who are watching
The two old
on
ladies.
TV.
The two
I
old
like
ladies with the pillow. Yeah.
You had
pillow.
Hitchcock or
I love
Scully.
the bar. I love that there's a whole bar based on the show, watching the show. Right.
Yeah.
You know, I love that there's a lot to watch in this movie as you do watch it multiple times. This is the first time I noticed that, you know, some of the crew members were wearing shirts that say love him, protect him.
Protect
Right.
him. Yeah.
Right. And it's like, oh, I never noticed that before. Right.
Well, Margaret, I didn't notice. Margaret noticed the two guys, whether auto mechanic, looks like they're parking garage guys that are,
Yeah.
that are sitting there. They have a Truman calendar that they've drawn a beard and mustache on.
And the one guy plays Scully or Hitchcock, one of the two on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's one of the older cops in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You're right. Absolutely.
And his love interest, the girl, was it Sylvia?
Well, her
Yeah,
real name was
the-
Sylvia, right?
The real
Right.
love interest. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She was on Californication. She was David Duchovny's ex-wife. And she was also the wife of Kiefer Sutherland on Designated Survivor. And her accent kept changing during the movie. Or was I having a mini stroke? Because I really felt like she was like Australian all of a sudden. Like when she called in. Anybody else notice that? All right.
Well, keep in mind, when she was in the show, she was acting with her American accent.
That's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
You see, that's very possible. Now, Cody, I know you don't like a movie that's ambiguous at the end.
I thought the exact same thing. I was thinking the exact same thing.
So I was concerned about how you might deal with the ending of
What
the
happened to him? What happened after that?
I said that a
think
little bit
They went through
too.
the door.
Listen, don't attack me.
No, we're just, you know.
No, I
recognizing-
definitely felt some type of way. This one felt different than the other ones because it was like it kind of had an ending for everyone else. Granted, it didn't have an ending for him. But
It was the beginning for him.
yeah, technically. So I just felt like it. Yeah, I would love to know how he reacted to realizing that.
I'm in shock they never did a sequel.
I'm glad they didn't.
Oh yeah, they definitely could have with like a new.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
glad they
Well, no,
didn't.
I think they could have done, Truman in the real world. Like what happens
Yeah.
once he gets out? Like what does he do for a living?
That would
Does
be
he
a
sell
rough
insurance still?
What would he do for a living? He's one of the most famous. He's probably the most
that's
famous
true.
person in the world. He can do whatever he
He'd write a book. He
He's
would write
probably
a book.
hanging out at the Truman Bar.
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching a backwards episode of WandaVision. Like everyone in
Yeah.
there was forced to do it, and he was the only one. Oh, it was
Yeah,
weird.
it definitely had a
like that.
WandaVision feel
I like
to it.
that.
But what's crazy is you think of 1998, like The Real World, which was considered one of the first reality shows, I think came out in 97. So this movie was being filmed when that first whole reality TV kind of started.
Mhm.
And the product placement, that's what fuels YouTube right now. Like if you watch
product
YouTube
placement goes
videos,
back- if you watch the old Jack Benny show, and
oh yeah. But I'm
they're all
talking
over
about
the place with product placement.
But I'm talking, I mean, they were just being kind of blatantly obvious, but not being blatantly obvious.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like breaking, there's a couple car guys I watch and they'll just be like, boy, that's really hard on your car. Speaking of hard on your car,
Yes.
you should get NordVPN. So you can, and it's like, what?
Mhm.
Speaking of hard on your car, Weather Shield.
Yeah. We have no segues. Speaking of segues,
I think I agree with Adam too, like having a really hard time with the role that Jim Carrey had in this at the beginning. Obviously, like once he starts figuring it out and once he starts like when he's driving in circle in the roundabout and like that's the more Jim Carrey that I'm used to. So that
Mhm.
felt a little
That was-
more.
That was one of the
familiar.
reasons I wanted to do Stranger Than Fiction earlier, and the only reason we didn't was because it wasn't streaming anywhere. Because that's Will Ferrell in a very atypical role for Will Ferrell.
Right. Well,
Now, see,
Siskel. Oh, go ahead.
It's funny that Adam brought that up because I was thinking this evening that it is one of those roles that I like Jim Carrey in because it's different than his normal.
Mhm.
I like him, but he's sometimes so over the top that I won't watch a movie like The Mask. I'll never watch that again. It was horrible to me.
I enjoy The Mask, though.
Yeah,
Yes, I don't mind
Next
The
week's
Mask.
movie, The Mask.
I'm not an Ace
Ventura
Ventura
movie.
fan, but I do enjoy The Mask.
Ace
But I've never
Ventura
watched
goes
that.
really far.
Yeah.
Well, that
watching
one
this
scene
week-
where he's gardening and like his ass is in the whole shot. I was waiting for him to start. He's gardening. He's wearing those red shorts. I'm like, "Hello, I like to get the gardening done." Like, why did he make his ass talk?
That was one of the funny things in the IMDb trivia was Siskel and Ebert both gave this thumbs up, and they also issued an on-air apology to Jim Carrey for saying that he would never have a successful film career after they had reviewed Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Well, that's the funny thing is like, I mean, people refer this as being a dramatic role, and it's like this is still a comedy, right? Like this isn't
Parts of it
like,
are.
I
It's
mean,
a drama.
there are
Boat
definitely
Scene is not a
elements of it,
comedy.
but the way Jim Carrey playing it, it's still humor. It's just not Jim Carrey's extraordinary.
Oh, but there's whole stretches with no humor. I mean, they have that 5 to 10 minute boat sequence at the end where Christoph's throwing everything he can at him, and it's just pure drama.
Oh, absolutely.
So, there's a deleted scene. I didn't get to watch any of the deleted scenes, but I've always thought this in life. Sometimes, like you see somebody and you go, "Didn't I just see them like 2 days ago?" Like, is God sending these extras in at the wrong time? Because there's a scene where he sees a jogger and it's played by the same actor who played a homeless man in a wheelchair like 2 days before,
Right.
and they put that as as he starts to realize things are happening.
Mhm.
And I've had that happen in life, like for real, where I'm like, I'll be at the grocery store and see somebody and go, "I just saw them somewhere. Like, why am I seeing them again?" And then you like 2 days later, you see them again. I'm like, what are the odds? And they're probably saying the same thing. Like, why am I seeing this guy at the grocery store every time?
Yeah, it might be the FBI.
There's weird stuff going on. Did you say don't tell them, Stacy? Is this all fake? Has my mom been paying you guys to be my friend?
I thought that was interesting too, that it was like adopted parents, that he was just a baby that was totally unwanted. Like, how sad.
Yeah. It was a really sad movie.
Yeah, there was a lot
Well,
more
I think
sad
in a
parts.
way, it absolutely is. It is when you think about what actually is happening in this movie. It is it's very sad. But that's of course why you get the great ending, and you feel so great about the ending, right?
Mhm.
Where he overcomes and he figures it out, and he has the gumption to go through. Adam does not feel that this compares with Forrest Gump.
I agree. They're two totally different
Mhm.
things. I mean, they both have their great merits to them, but they're not comparable.
There are a lot of people. This is also in the IMDb trivia. I don't know that you consider this trivia, but there are a lot of people that are being treated for this Truman syndrome, where they think their life is a reality show and like everybody's watching them, and they're basically schizophrenic. But the doctors they attribute it to this movie. Like, I mean, and if you think about some of the people that are famous just for being famous, and people who are like, TikTok famous or YouTube famous, and they really think that they're super famous and people are paying attention to everything. Most people aren't paying attention to anything.
No.
Except,
And I
Johnny Depp and
assumed
Amber
in
Heard.
your everyday life you were always breaking the fourth wall.
I break the fourth wall all the time. It pisses my wife off.
I'm just assuming that
I do
you
it just for fun.
constantly,
Like, I'll just be like,
a camera that isn't
we'll
there.
be talking. Yeah, I'll just be talking. I go, seriously, that's what we're gonna have for dinner? This is what she wants for dinner?
I assume.
Anyway, yeah.
I think I might start doing that.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
that sounds fun.
Are you going to have somebody behind you with a drums kit for rim shots?
That's what Eric's for.
That is good to know.
Eric's always there. He's there for me.
I'll
get a text. It'll say bum bum.
Whenever you're having trouble, he always shows up at the door with a 6-pack.
Yeah. Oh, look at this delicious beer.
Exactly. But it's Diet Dr. Pepper. It's not beer. But that's all right. Now, Ed Harris is amazing in this movie.
He's a really good villain.
He is so cold in this, man.
He is very cold, but
Till
you
the
can
very,
tell
very end.
he cares in his way.
But
But
it's unclear if he cares about Truman or he just cares about the show.
Right.
I
don't know. He like petted his nose. It
pets
was
the
like kind of
screen. He pets
creepy.
the screen while
Because
he's
it's his pet. I mean, in the same way someone would care about their hamster. You know, I don't get the
Hey,
feeling.
don't you rip on him? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I don't think he cares about him as a person, or he wouldn't treat him the way he does. I think he cares about him as a cash cow and as his creation.
Well, I think
Yeah,
as
he
the
has a very
creation, absolutely.
strange god complex that's like extremely uncomfortable.
It's so good. I enjoy the music from this movie as well.
Yeah.
I love the musical cues, especially when he's starting to figure things out on the street. Like that scene where he stops the bus, and it's so like it gives you the sense of what's going on in his head and how he's starting to put the pieces together, and it's starting to really gel. I'm like, to
And they
me,
use-
the score from this could not be more perfect.
They use royalty-free music for the music too,
I know.
Wow.
because they figured on the show they're not going to be able to pay for the rights to music. So all the music that they had.
So he would have never heard the Beatles.
There's somebody
He would have
performing.
never heard the, he would have never heard any pop. You would never heard Bing Crosby, anything unless it was public domain. They didn't play it.
Well, I thought what was really cool was that they basically make this idealistic, almost 50s, 60s
Very 50s,
feel
yeah,
for
yeah,
everything, right?
Mhm.
Which I think is why this movie doesn't feel like it was as made in the 90s as it might have, right? This movie still feels very fresh because they're sort of mimicking the 50s, so there wouldn't be smartphones anyways, right? You wouldn't
Except
have-
for they had the very much CSI. Okay, zoom in on that, enhance.
Yes.
I knew you would enjoy that. I knew that was gonna.
Now, there's
be-
one mistake I think in the trivia on IMDb. It says the location of the dome where the Truman Show is filmed is Burbank, California. Truman's full name is Truman Burbank, but they show a picture of it. It's right behind the Hollywood sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not Burbank.
Yeah. Unless they
Now,
see
over the
it
hill is
on
Burbank,
commercial.
but the actual Hollywood sign is not Burbank.
And I love the fact that it's one of two man-made structures visible from space.
Yeah.
I love that.
And Harry Shearer is always great, no matter what he does.
Oh yeah, with that voice of his, that Harry Shearer voice.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, so good.
And that
Well-
actually the one I'm torn about this movie in one way, which is
Okay.
one of the things that was in the IMDb trivia that I found fascinating was it was originally as written that Truman was about to graduate from high school. He was like 18.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference to this movie. If they had done it as 18, on the one hand, there are some moral quandaries that come up because he's older that wouldn't have come up that are interesting to ponder.
Yeah.
But as far as realistic goes, and I hate to use realistic as a term in a movie like this, but you could maybe see a society that would let a corporation adopt a baby and raise it. But once it reached adulthood, you couldn't just keep him in captivity that way. It
No.
Right.
crosses a line that I don't think a society would be willing to cross.
Right.
And then there's also the whole issue with his quote unquote wife,
Right.
his role, her role. And, they refer to her as in one of the trivia things as her, basically, is she a prostitute essentially because she's being paid to pretend to be married to him. And it's a very
More than acting.
because on the one hand, I think it makes a better movie him being older, but it doesn't work as well logically.
It does. Well, who knows?
I think I think it adds to how twisted society is because it became so wrapped up in his the whole world was so wrapped up in his life that they were willing to set morality aside and say we don't care, we need to know what happens next.
And I could see that. We certainly Washington passes laws for one corporation many, many times. They've extended copyright purely for Disney on multiple occasions. So they could easily have written a law that made very specific requirements for someone who is the ward of a corporation.
Right.
Well, and especially because you could almost justify it as he knows nothing else anyway. So now you've raised this kid to adulthood and you're going to send him out into a world that he's
Except
never
again,
experienced.
Toward the end, where Christoph is coming really close to killing him.
Yeah.
Yes, but they're trying to tell him to, shut down the broadcast and everything.
Right.
Clearly not everybody was on board with that.
And did you notice who the network executive was, Eric? Inspector Bookman from Seinfeld,
Yes.
the library cop.
There it
And
is.
Paul Giamatti is one of the controlmen. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, you're an inspector at a library. Your name is Bookman? That's right, kid.
Excellent scene.
You had to bring it back to Seinfeld, didn't
And
you?
always will until next.
It's not
next
June yet, you know.
Especially in 98. Well, shall we? Let's throw
We
some.
shall.
Let's do it. All right, just like that. Dan's backgrounds keeps changing.
Normally, the person whose movie it is starts it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we'll start it with you, Eric, I guess.
Yeah, start with me. Start with me. Darn it. I will tell you amazing things. As I said, this is one of my favorite movies. I don't think I would change anything about this movie. To me, it's completely rewatchable multiple times. Always enjoyable. I think Jim Carrey's performance on this is spot on. I think it would be hard to find somebody else who could bring so much to the role and have it feel natural, because you expect him to be goofy. So even like at the beginning when he's being goofy and he's, or he's doing the astronaut scene with the soap on the mirror and all that kind of
That
stuff.
was ad-libbed, by the way.
Just awesome, right? I love this movie. I think it's totally enjoyable. I laugh every time I watch it. I went with a 97.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, let's go to Dave. Who needs Europe?
I did love that newspaper headline.
I love, just real quick, I love the signs in the travel office.
Yes.
This could happen to you.
Travel office really trying to discourage you from traveling.
I love how she walks in with her makeup bib still on. Oh,
Yes.
So
she
good.
was new on the set. That was her first
good.
day.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it is a very good movie, and there are no bad performances, which I think is what carries it. The director has a very clear vision that he carries through, I think, effectively. You've got Truman, you've got Meryl, you've got the best friend, you've got Christoph, all and those are the four key roles, and they all put in really good performances. I cannot fault any of them, really. The casting or the performances. I do struggle a bit again with that. I'm a little torn on a 30-year-old being kept like that and whether society would allow it. But I'm not going to let that get in the way of my enjoying the movie. It's just something that just every time I watch this, that just sort of makes me go, I don't know, which is, I guess, what is a good thing, because it's making you think. And that's part of what a good movie does sometimes, is not just entertains you, it makes you think. So I don't like it as much as Eric does, but I think it's a very good movie. I think it is easily one of Jim Carrey's best movies, possibly his best movie. Second Jim Carrey movie we've watched, by the way, and certainly much better than the other movie we watched of his. I give it. I struggle. I'm giving it this score seems to come in my mind for so many movies, but I'm going to give it another 90.
All right. Let's go to Brittany.
Okay.
Brittany.
Let's do Richard's.
boy,
He
here it
says, because his is a little lower. So he says he didn't he didn't really enjoy the concept of the movie. He thought Jim Carrey has given better performances. The oddity of it all just isn't entertaining to me. Was either bored or just mad at the characters. So he gave it a 51.
Oof.
Like I said, I enjoyed it. I don't know what else there is to say. I think I'll go with an 86.
All right. My mom, excuse me, gives it a 94. And she sent me comments over the weekend. Her comments are, Alexa's having a problem. I asked her to play oh, wait, that's a different text. Still an interesting theme. Complete control of someone's life just to entertain the masses and make loads of money. Pretty sick idea, but you get the feeling that he thinks himself as Truman's father and may think that when he's done something good for an unwanted baby. He's done something good for an unwanted baby. So about Ed Harris's character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I could see that, I guess. That makes a lot of sense. But it is a good movie. The Riders.
Yeah.
And the Cattail.
And a cattail. That's Carla.
The timing of the cattail.
Thanks. Let me talk with the cattail.
That's the microphone. Actually, we have the camera and the cats.
Yeah.
Were there any pets in? Oh, there was the dog. There was the one dog.
Yes. Yeah. There's the Dalmatian.
Yeah, I think because it came out like you said right after reality TV was starting to become something, and I was just trying to think about what kids today would think of the movie, and I guess they would probably be more interested in it than maybe opposed to it. So,
Except Richard.
yeah, but it was when we watched it, especially when we watched it the first time, it was really well made. All like you said, all the actors were really good in it, and the concept was like really interesting, especially at the time. And then yeah, and I think I've seen some of the Jim Carrey movies that were kind of really silly, and then it was more of a little more of a serious bit for him. So I'm gonna give it an 89.
89.
Right.
Yeah, I liked this movie. I didn't like what was happening in it, but that's part of the movie. That's what the movie's about, and it does make you question stuff. And and it's funny. I've been watching the Real World reunion, Homecoming, for season 1 because I loved that show. It was so weird. Some of it I turned off. And to go back and watch it again, watch them now as adult, it's really weird. So watching that, and I agree with Dave with this concept of this person has hit 18. Why is he still in captivity? And Laura Linney, his wife, but she's not really his wife. What the heck? That bothered me a lot. For her,
But she was a cheerleader.
yeah. But for her too, it's just so bizarre to me. But it's just, you know what? The world is a weird place, and movies are supposed to be entertaining. I think that I'm going to give this an 84.
Speaking of her, I did love the operating room scene.
Oh my gosh.
When that poor actor is standing there.
So good. So good.
Cody.
Yeah. I enjoyed this movie more than I thought I would. I will say that I think it was hard for me to watch Jim Carrey play that role because I'm so used to seeing him play the wacky, wild roles. I don't think it was any better or any worse. I just think that his other roles were different, wildly different. But I did enjoy it. Again, I felt like I was watching WandaVision backwards, which was messing my brain because I was trying to look for some other. I was looking for some other holes or plot things that weren't there because I was overthinking it. But I enjoyed it again more than I thought I would. I appreciated the fact that they were questioning it, like it wasn't just like everyone wanted him to live there the whole time and we're fine with it and stuff. But overall I enjoyed the movie. I'm gonna give it a 83.
All right, we have Adams here. He liked the premise, but he just couldn't buy Jim Carrey in a more serious role.
Yeah,
There were parts of the movie that didn't hold his attention.
right.
59.
Score.
And Cody's talking about not believing Jim in this role, but that's what his job is, though. We should be able to see him in other things, just like any actor, especially character actors. These guys he's more of a leading guy, maybe not a leading man, but I just think that he's a character.
I believe he was the first guy to get 20 million a movie.
Wow.
And continue to get it for a lot of his movies.
I just really miss the days where you didn't recognize like Paul Giamatti. He's one of those guys that you recognize, but you're like, who's that guy? And you look up,
Ed Norton is another actor who can really disappear into a role. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's what I miss.
Tom Hanks disappears into his roles.
No.
Andrew Garfield disappears into his roles.
Yes. Now I just brought Dave up because of his "it's not professional." How she was complaining, like she was such a serious actor.
Yes. How can anyone work under these conditions?
Meanwhile, if you've watched Ozark, she does an amazing job on Ozark. Laura Linney. I really like this movie. I have seen it a bunch of times. I swear we just watched it for the film festival, to the point where I even said to my son, because he talked about. I said, have you seen this movie? And he's like, no. He goes, we talked about watching it because you had to watch it for your show and then you watched it yourself. I'm like, see, I'm telling you, we're in an alternative timeline.
Eric, really
How
like
could my son think that we watched it for the show?
I know, but
All right.
clearly, okay.
Anyway, it was meant to be seen, and I think it does have a lot with today's society and people being famous just for being famous and doing things to make money, like exploiting people for money, which happens.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Johnny Depp Amber Heard ridiculousness that we're all stuck watching.
I watch it.
But I agree with Eric, and I agree with my mom. I'm right in that range. I'm in the mid 90s. I'm going to go with the 95.
Wow.
Because it's a great movie. It's a very well done movie, award-winning movie. And that's what I think. So if you don't like it, suck it.
Wow. Okay.
That's my new saying.
If you think about it, Christoph, it certainly gives the impression that he has had like the #1 show on television with its own channel running 24/7
for 30 years,
for decades. How wealthy he would be, which is sort of what he's into, that megalomania, that god complex, the sort of the Zuckerberg, Elon Musk type of personality that just feels like the world's rules don't apply to him.
His name is Christ off.
Yeah.
I mean, Christoph, he does Christ in his name. All the characters in the show are names of famous actors, and all the streets. There's Barrymore's one of the streets, and her name's Meryl, like Meryl Streep, and his name is Truman.
Truman Capote.
Like Truman Capote.
All right. Well, this is excellent. I'm glad the people who liked it.
Well, I think even if you could get past the fact that he was 30 and they still hadn't let him in on the whole his whole life, the fact that they were trying to have Meryl have a baby with him, like this, as an actress, you're willing to get pregnant on screen.
It's unclear if they were actually going to follow through on that, or that was just a way of moving away along the plot of her trying to get pregnant when she really wasn't. You never know.
Well, he had. Oh, I guess that's true. I was thinking he said something about
Oh no, he said
he did say the first conception.
Yeah, we had the first birth on TV. Let's have the first conception on TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Good point.
So was he a 29-year-old virgin? I mean, was the 40-year-old virgin really just the sequel to this movie?
He grows into being Steve Carell. That's exactly what happens after he goes through the door.
It's like Evan Almighty. Like Bruce Almighty was him.
Yep.
It was Jim Carrey, and then
true.
Evan Almighty.
That's true. It's the Jim Carrey to Steve Carell transition.
Maybe.
Wow.
There's a stretch.
Wow.
Speaking of stretches.
All right.
It's a double feature next week.
Nope, that's not it. That's the one. This is the one we want to look at. Truman Show, 82.80. Not a bad performance.
Not closest to last week's movie.
Beat the
yes. Just slightly behind The Fugitive.
That is true. We're in the same ballpark as The Fugitive. So not bad at all. And we will now
nobody hated it.
We got to figure out what's happening for next week. So let's start having this discussion. All right. So our only regular has not appeared in the comments who has not picked the movie. So I get the feeling that we're going back to putting all the names on the wheel. It looks like.
Because Rebecca here.
Rebecca was our only person from the comments. So we're going to give about 15 seconds for Rebecca to yell that she's here. And if she's not here, we're going to be putting everybody's name on the wheel who's here with us tonight.
Richard is here. He's just watching from the other room.
Okay, excellent. So I will
next Sunday.
So everybody has the next 15 or 20 seconds to think about what you would put up as a double feature. Oh, I know, such pressure here. If you don't want to participate, of course, you can let us know.
I'll tell you right now, I'm going double Paul Giamatti.
Is your mom with us tonight, or is she just sent her comment?
No, she commented
in there. That's right, absolutely.
Yeah, she's there.
Double Giamatti.
Ooh. I'm doing a double Giamatti. So if it gets it, it's the entire series of Billions. No, it's not.
Well, all right. It looks like Rebecca's not with us. Really so in this case, we reset the wheel. Oh my goodness.
Ooh. This is scary.
Adam says he's not holding his breath. So here we go. What could it be Make sure your name is on here, by the way. Everybody find their own name. Make sure that I have done this properly. I
You
believe I
misspelled
have.
my name.
Who cares? No, that's my other friend, Stacy. If that one comes up, that's not you.
Okay.
There, corrected. Are you going to shuffle them?
Of course, we're gonna shuffle them.
Does it
Everybody
really
found
matter?
their. I didn't want to do that while somebody was looking for their name, though. So all right,
There it
it's
is.
gonna
Oh, there it is.
shuffle.
Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is.
And here we go. All right. Oh,
the
hold
prick.
on to your butts. Coming
Come
up,
on,
next
double
week,
Giamatti.
double feature is going to be. Oh, we got a noise this week. I have no idea why. It's so hard to know what's happening anymore, and it's. Oh my goodness! Right off
Adam,
the bat.
why did you not hold your breath?
My goodness. Well, Adam, there you go. No pressure.
Man, I almost
See
He
what
didn't
Adam
hold
has
his
in
breath. That's
for us.
why.
Yeah, I'm not.
I bet
holding
he's
my
not
breath.
doing the double Giamatti though.
Oh,
Probably not doing it.
he probably would like the double Giamatti.
Maybe he'll do it. Maybe he'll do Eternal Sunshine because you know he said he liked that.
Adam's taking a moment. Oh,
He's holding his breath somewhere.
Yeah, he's not ready for it. He wasn't prepared. Why the face?
Yeah, it works.
What's the film?
What's the film?
What's
There you
the
go.
film?
You tell us, Adam.
Awesome.
Mr.
goodness.
Jones.
All right, let's take a look back. Last Adam just had a double feature in
I
March,
know.
and it was Wreck-It Ralph and Free Guy.
Yes, an excellent double feature, by the
It
way.
was a great double feature.
Free Guy, another guy with extras.
Both these
He needs five
five.
more.
You can't have 5 movies. No, I'm
No,
sorry.
you get 2 movies.
Yes, he's gonna have us watch the first 5 Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh God.
Well, that's about when you'd want to stop watching.
I thought
That's
we were going to watch all the Hey Vern movies. You know,
Oh,
Speaking of Hey Vern,
Ernest.
Hey, Vern.
his DeLorean just sold on Bring a Trailer. Hey Vern owned a DeLorean.
Did he?
Jim Varney owned a DeLorean.
Yes, and his son just sold because I guess he passed away a couple years
Yes.
ago.
He did. Yeah.
He did.
And his son put it up. They put it up on, and I was going to bid on it because I'm like, if I'm going to get a DeLorean again,
Getting
why
the
not
Jim
own Jim Varney's?
Exactly.
But it went for way too much money.
Oh, that's
We lost a lot of the voices from Toy Story. You lost Don Rickles.
Yep.
We've lost Jim Varney. There are quite a few if you get on the list actually that aren't with us anymore.
Adam, you could always
They're
give your
dying off.
choices away if you're not ready. I mean,
I don't think he's giving his choice away. Well, we'll give Adam some time,
Yeah.
and we will talk about what other people have been watching. All right. One other. Well, we gotta hear the Top Gun review.
Dare.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Well,
No
the
spoilers.
soundtrack was definitely better.
Oh my
We got
god!
wow.
There's this commemorative button that's awesome.
Yeah, and then here's
Wow.
the poster we got, but I don't know. It's
Oh
Wade's not
my!
impressed.
I'm not impressed with it.
That's a lot going on. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. All right.
Yeah,
So that's not gonna go hanging. That I see you have a little space on the wall
yeah.
right here. You could probably hang that right there, and
Or
there's
next
a
to the
light
TV.
shining naturally on it. Okay.
I can hang
Um,
next to my picture of me with the airplane above.
So-
my head, you know?
So Wade, you said earlier it was better than the original.
Yeah, it was definitely better than the original, and like I said, the soundtrack is definitely better.
Yeah.
The only song you get from the original was the dun, 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 like when something
Danger Zone.
gonna
You get a
happen.
little danger
Yeah.
zone.
No Kenny Loggins?
You probably need a
No,
little danger
No,
zone.
okay, I was waiting for it too.
Do-do-do-do-do.
No, none of that either.
No Berlin?
Or none of that.
Was there any topless volleyball?
They played football.
Football.
Well,
They
so-
played in the
So
water.
the people I've talked to are gaga about the fact that all the flight scenes, no CGI, all
$11,000 an hour.
and they
They
say,
Well,
Wow.
there was some CGI at the beginning because they're flying this plane that doesn't exist. You know.
oh wow.
So-
And Tom Cruise's face, I'm sure, had some CGI down
Yeah. Well, he
outside.
was wearing a helmet, and it was all like the light was shining. It was
Well, no, he was wearing one of those Mission Impossible masks.
yeah. That,
Nice.
That was the only trailer. That was the only trailer that was on before the movie was his Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah. Since it was a special showing, since it was Tuesday, that's all we had was a Mission Impossible thing. We didn't have to wait a half hour. But the other people didn't realize that we're coming in late.
Because you used to have like a half an hour before.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the big question
Harris was in it
Yes,
again,
Ed
and he
Harris
was a
was
good
in it.
bad guy in it, in a way, Yeah.
See,
but
He was
I
very
think
wrinkly.
the big question though is any post credit scenes that we need to sit around for. Good.
Well, there wasn't.
No, we
'cause I
waited.
sat, so there's nothing at the end.
No.
But Tom Cruise will be back in 30 years. And
right. Tom Cruise will return. Maverick will return.
Yeah, they didn't really like end him for good. I mean, they almost did, but yeah, I mean,
They could do another one.
There's some good surprises in it that make it like
Top Gun, the cash cow.
It's funny because I saw the original too many times. Too many people I love like it. So anyway, it was horrible. And so I was really not wanting to go see it. And it was funny. I said, yes, I'm off on Tuesday night. We can go. So he buys tickets. And then I get to work and find out I was looking at the wrong schedule. I was looking at June instead of May. And then my coworker traded with me because she's nice that way, I guess. But Wade was like, well, I'll take Kent. And Kent's like, no.
Wow.
But he's like that all the time about everything. So but Wade said he's going to make him go again.
I think he would like it.
He would. I think he would too.
Woo, we're going violent.
Wow. Well, how about that?
Yeah, it was definitely. I'm glad I went to see it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go right away. I was going to wait, but since they had that special showing, it's like, yeah, whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
going to see it anyways.
It was fun.
Very cool.
Boardman had reclining seats.
Yeah, the big
Oh,
one.
wow.
Oh, you went to Boardman.
Yeah, we went to Boardman.
Fancy.
Yeah, that was the other ones. The local ones were pretty well booked up. I'd have been in the front row, which probably wouldn't have been a bad thing, but Stacy wouldn't like it.
No, that's how we saw the first one, was in the front row. So.
Yeah, because I got to it late, and there was only like 2 seats in the front row, so it was really cool. It was like you're sitting there looking at the deck of the carrier. It was like you were sitting right there. It's kind of neat.
Well, Adam's movies are in. Did we talk about this yet?
No,
Are you ready?
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're getting a Coen Brothers double feature.
really like
Another
it.
funny one.
I don't think I watched Fargo again either. Oh, Adam.
Two movies I have not seen.
I've not seen No Country for Old Men.
I don't think I've seen that either. I've seen Fargo.
I've seen them both.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go,
You're
Adam.
smiling.
I do love the Coen Brothers, but boy, he picked 2 violent ones.
Oh.
All right. Well, there we go. Well, it's not like Kill Bill 1 and 2.
No, it's not. It's not Tarantino. No.
Which I have on my list for someday.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. There we go. I'm excited. 2 movies I've not seen before. I've always wanted to watch Fargo.
I've never seen a Coen Brothers film I haven't liked. So
I don't like country and I don't like old men, so I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy the.
And have you ever been to Fargo?
You wouldn't like that either.
Frances McDermott is in Fargo, and she won an Oscar for
Yeah,
that.
she was
I
pretty
do
good
remember
in
that.
Oh, William H. Macy too. Don't
Well,
forget.
she's
Yeah,
in a
that's
lot of
great.
Coen Brothers movies, but for obvious reasons.
And there is a character named Wade in it in Fargo.
I got that.
William H. Macy is excellent in it.
And does he work at a car dealership?
Is what I want there to be.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so a little car
There
action.
you
I
go.
like
There's the
that.
plot for your show.
So you should have Rocky go on.
So Fargo is 96. We're staying in the 90s.
They both are. One's no car. I can't talk.
I don't know anything about that. All right, let me see where these films might play. I've only watched the first episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know if anybody else has seen that yet.
Oh.
No, what's it on?
Well, as soon as we get off of here.
I know.
I will have a trivia question to think about when we watch next week's is worst haircut, Tom Hanks in The Da Vinci Code or Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men?
Wow.
Hmm.
2 bad haircuts.
All right, No Country for Old Men is on HBO Max.
Oh.
And Fargo is on Amazon.
Oh.
Right.
Or check your local library.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I think we have No Country for Old Men.
Well, that's good.
Maybe. I'll have to look for it.
You don't have No Country for Old Men.
I got
This
No Country for Old
is
Men.
run by old men.
True that.
Very true. We
Very
need
true.
We need more young women.
Yeah, actually, so just on Friday, and I have not watched. So just on Friday, the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi dropped, and 4th season of Stranger Things, which I have not watched either.
The last episode is over 2 hours long.
I know. Each episode's over an hour. I mean, it's an 8-hour commitment. My son's already done, and he's like, "I'll watch it again."
Emma's done too. Emma watched it all day Friday.
Wow.
People without jobs.
Yeah,
Well, she has a job. She just didn't have to work on Friday.
Her job is Netflix watcher.
She works at the library and she works at a pool. So,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
She works at the pool library.
Oh, that would be really awesome.
Well, they have pool bars. Why don't have pool libraries? You know, you
that'd
go
be
up.
sick.
Although you're out there, you're out there
the-
splashing, and they're like, "Shh."
Just swim up to the Dewey Decibel System. And
Yes,
Don't
they
have fun in
rate
the
the
pool.
dives by how much noise they make. Oh, that's a very
laminate all the cards in the card catalog.
So in my COVID stupor, I watched a lot of Law and Order.
You
marathons.
you left the topic. I was about to make a microfiche joke. Please go ahead.
Oh.
Oh,
That's microfiche. Thank you very
Or
much.
fish.
It's fiche, Eric.
no,
Like,
not if
like
you
Mr. Montgomery would,
in a pool, it's microfiche.
the way Mr. Montgomery said it, it's fiche.
All right, now you can go ahead.
All right, so I watched a lot.
Cody
of Law
has
and
no
Order.
idea what microfiche is.
No. And then I had a couple of weird dreams, and one of them I came up with a concept and I sent it to Eric, and it was basically.
This is your dream music. Go ahead.
Oh, this is my dream music. It was a guy in a waiting room at a hospital in the 50s, and I'll cut to the chase. He gets into the woman, and he's like, "Holy crap! Look at all the hair on that kid." And the dog says, do you have a name for him? She goes, "Yes, we're gonna name him Cosmo." And Dad's like, "Really?" She's like, "Yes, look at him. That's a Cosmo." She's all right, and he's ready. He goes, "Cosmo Kramer," and it's Cosmo, a Seinfeld prequel.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, why have they not done that? Like they could
Right.
do all four characters. You could do
Right.
like, up to 21, or how did they end up in New York? So
How I Met Your Kramer.
How I Met Your Kramer. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Right there.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
I just ordered both movies from the library.
Oh, good.
So nobody knows that Chippewa is allowed to watch.
Well, no, Chippewas is already checked out.
Oh,
So I had to order from Beaver or Aliquippa. So maybe somebody's going to.
Or get Amazon Prime. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's awesome. And then you get extras, right? You get the DVDs, you get the deleted scenes, you get the extended scenes. You
We
get
never watch those.
with
We
the
never
cast.
watch those. Sadly, I always want to, and we forget.
Denise is the one for those.
That is also
You
great.
too, Dave. When you I watched the deleted scenes. I'm like,
That's
If
true.
it's a movie I really love, then yes.
yeah. When
I
you
don't
say
do it
that, I'm
for
like,
any movie.
well, Denise needs to come next Sunday to watch these movies.
Yeah, I will send her a note.
Yes.
See if I can get her on board. Sunday nights might work better for her.
Yeah.
And these movies might work better for her. So
Tell her Tom Hanks is in them.
that's right, exactly.
This is a no Giamatti week.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
sadly.
It's a
sad.
Cohen week.
You have to. So you would have gone no Giamatti. Cody, do you know what you would have gone? Are you willing to share what you would have gone with a double?
If I would have gone,
yeah.
No, because I want it to be a surprise for next time.
Okay, that's very good.
I'll share my two.
I think I know that. I think I do know.
And it can change for next time anyway.
That's just it. Like I have an idea what I would have picked in a pinch tonight, but it probably is not what I would pick next time.
Well, my Giamattis. Anybody want to guess my two Giamattis?
What's the one where he's the one with the wine?
Sideways.
Sideways, yeah.
That's one of them. And the other one is Pig Vomit.
What?
Oh gosh.
He plays Howard Stern's program director named Pig Vomit.
Oh, okay.
Private
Wow.
Parts.
Wow.
That was his first major movie. That was his breakout role. He's amazing in that movie. I don't think he's done bad in anything other than the Volkswagen commercials.
Nice.
And he's not bad in those.
No, but he's a Volkswagen commercial.
Yeah, it's a Volkswagen commercial, but it probably made him more money than some of the movies he's made. He does a lot of independent films.
That's true.
That is true.
But yeah, the Sideways is a really good movie.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share what they're
Oh,
doing?
and Adam said he would have watched Dan's movie. How about that?
All right. Well, you still can.
Well, Adam does watch all the movies.
You have to
I-
watch it
He
anyway.
watched everybody's movie, no matter how bad they
He
were.
would have willingly watched them.
Yes, he would have enjoyed them. How about that?
Adam watched Midnight Mass. A slow burn, but interesting. I had never heard of that.
Me neither.
I've not heard of that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was not a big TV week for us here.
I honestly forget half the stuff I watched. So
The only thing I watched,
so much.
I said, was the homecoming of the Real World, and I watched that yesterday. So.
Oh yeah, I've been watching the New Orleans Real World. That's right.
And I want to, but I'm going in order because I'd already started season 1 and then forgot about it. So
I'm trying to find the video I have. I thought I had it already saved on this other computer, and I grabbed the computer out, hooked it up. It's not on there. So I've got to go through all my tapes.
We're watching our second Tommy Lee Jones movie in 3 weeks.
Wow.
I've never watched a first one. Oh man!
He was just in the Fugitive.
Yeah, and he's also in No Country.
Okay, I'm sorry.
She's thinking of Tommy Lee.
Yes. Oh my God.
From
Tommy Lee Jones,
from Motley Crue.
Very different people.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, Tommy Lee different, Tommy Lee Jones different, Tom Jones different.
Exactly.
Yes. Tommy Lee Jones, I can't picture being married to Pamela Anderson somehow.
No.
Is there
Forgive
a
me
Lee
for that.
Jones?
I just
I don't know.
gone.
I don't know.
We had Lyle Lovett and who was he? Who was he married? Who was Lyle
Julia
Lovett married?
Roberts.
Angelina Jolie or
No, Julia
it was,
Roberts.
Julia Roberts. Yeah, that was a real mixed one.
No, it was what was that guy's name?
Lyle Lovett's one odd-looking duck.
Yeah, he
He
is.
was married to Angelina Jolie. Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
That was like, what?
That was a weird one, especially when she went to Brad Pitt.
I know.
She made a pit stop.
I guess.
Ah, nice.
Hey, that's mine. The other thing I watched was Angeline.
Yeah, that
Peacock.
looks interesting.
It is interesting, and I have an Angeline story. So Angeline is famous. She's probably the first person that's actually famous for being famous.
Yeah, that was from the 80s or 90s.
In early 80s, she had billboards all over LA, just pictures of her and a phone number, and she became famous. She drove around a pink Corvette, and she's had so much plastic surgery that no one knows how old she is. Now we know, and no one knows her real name, which we now found out. And I was working at La Brea Chevrolet, and somebody said, "Oh, Angeline's bringing her car back because we give her a Corvette in exchange for a billboard." And she came in, and she would bring in the one Corvette because we paid for like a 2-year lease, and then she'd get the new one. And I had to drive her over to the body shop because they had her new one ready or something like that. And her assistant, who's portrayed in the show, was with her, who's been with her for like 30 years. She's the weirdest, nicest human being alive. That's the only way I can put it. Because that was 20 plus years ago, and I still remember it. Like, I mean, every detail of her, you just can't. It's like a train wreck. Like, you're just like looking, going, "How are you real?"
Yeah.
And everybody at the dealership had a different story. Like the one guy, he's like, "Oh yeah, I dated her in the 60s. I know who she is." And another guy's like, "Oh no, she was very popular in the 50s."
Oh geez.
And it turns out she's like a Jewish girl from Ohio, or a Jewish girl from Poland. She was born in Poland.
Okay.
In a Jewish family, and she lived in the Valley in LA, and she just created this character, and she's been living this character. She's like 70 now.
Yeah.
So when I saw her, she was in her 50s. Like, she was like my age now, but she had so much work done that she
couldn't tell.
It was like, is she? Yeah, very weird. But
In the movie, is she the redheaded, curly-haired girl?
no, blonde,
Okay,
Barbie
I'm
looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
In real life, she was a redhead.
Okay.
It's like that one movie with Jack Lemmon. I can't remember it. Where the girl did all the billboards in started doing billboards in New York City and became famous.
Oh, it's an old movie.
Oh,
Yeah, it's an old with Jack Lemmon.
well, the story I had heard was that she had a boyfriend who owned a billboard company, and he would have for lease signs up there. And she's like, well, why would you waste that space?
Yeah,
If no one's renting it, put me up there
Put
and
your
then
name up there.
put
Yeah.
for lease, and it'll get people's attention. And that's really not what happened. She
Mhm.
found some guy who she convinced that, you know, they could make a ton of money, and she would just trade billboard space for other things.
yeah.
She had a really expensive billboard, and one of the companies came to her and said, we need that billboard back. And she's like, no. So she ended up negotiating like 8 other billboards in exchange for that one billboard. She had something like
That's
190 billboards across LA at one point.
That's how the movie was with Jack. Was something the apartment, I think, or something like that.
No, it was the apartment. Let me get my phone.
I gotta fight, because if that's true, I mean, I wonder if
Yeah, that's exactly what she did, because she just decided to go get a billboard and put her name on it, and then some company wanted it, and then she.
oh yeah,
got
it
more
should happen to
billboards.
you.
Yes, that's it.
And
Wow.
then she got the one in Columbus Circle that some big company really wanted, and she would go into like Macy's, and they'd be like, she would say her name, and they're like, and the billboards outside, and they would just give her stuff, things like that, you know?
Yeah, she became famous. Holy crap! So that, I mean, she stole her idea.
And did it. Impressive.
Wow, I did not know that.
That's cool.
See,
I'm
we
gonna have to watch
learned.
that movie now.
We'll have to put that movie on our watch list or something.
Oh, Cody left too.
Oh,
Yes, Cody's let me know his internet took a dive. It's a technologically challenging evening on a Sunday night. Well, my export stopped happening, and so things cleared up on my end finally. Oh man!
all right. Well, that's all I got. I don't
really have much either. I don't
have
know.
a rule that we have to go 90 minutes.
So what people doing with their time off? People have time off.
Writing a paper,
Yeah, Wade's writing a paper.
Oh, nice.
but just a book review, so it isn't too bad.
I'm working on the Dodge Stealth, getting it ready. We're going to probably use it for the show next week, I hope.
If you can find it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could be a
I have to
challenge.
do some seat repair. I bought some leather patches. I was trying to stitch it, and the leather is so old and dry that as soon as you pull on it, it just rips it.
Are we talking about your car or your
Yes.
pants?
And both.
Because your seat repair with your leather, I'm curious.
Yeah, I was doing car repairs earlier today.
Leather Tuscadero.
Had a short in one of the kids' cars, so I was tracking that down.
Oh, that's never fun.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
Yep,
Yeah, Wade
same-
fixed. Go ahead.
Yep, no, just it turned out to be the no longer being used trailer electrical connection was somehow shorting. I don't know where. But I just pulled it out and it fixed it. So
Yep, Wade fixed all my door locks.
Yeah.
My newish car.
Amazingly, that's what it was.
And then on Friday, I went out after work to open my car door, and it would not open. And I'm unlocking it. I'm watching all the locks go up and down. It just would not open. I had to climb in the back seat and pull it open. And yeah, something happened with the outside latch. So he fixed that yesterday.
Well, that's, I've got on the 79 Pontiac, I've got the same problem. I can open it from inside. And when you open the inside handle, the outside handle is moving.
Mm-hmm.
But when you pull the outside handle, it doesn't do anything. I'm like, well, it's obviously connected, but there must be a second connection somewhere that it's missing.
Dang it.
Yeah.
He fixed it. I was happy. It locks.
See,
I can take it places.
There's like a rod that comes down from your handle. Well, it's probably about the same. And then it clips on to the latch assembly. So the clip might just be broken. I had trouble getting in the seat real good, so I just zip tied it the rest of the way to make sure.
we were either middle school or high school, I can't remember, around there. So probably like 8th or 9th grade. Friend and I were watching. We were at my house, and 60 Minutes was on, and they did a story about car thieves, and they were showing how easy it was to break into these cars, and they showed someone using a Slim Jim, and I'd never seen one before. We literally went out to my dad's shop, took a tin snips, cut one out, went over to my dad's truck, and went boom. Wow, these are really easy.
Did you use the regular flavor or the spicy flavor Slim Jim?
You had to snap into one first.
Yeah,
Happened to a Slim Jim.
That's the complicated part.
That's funny. So how many cars did you break into in 9th grade there, Dave?
We broke it into all my families just to prove that we could, but we never really took it past that.
You ever broke into a teacher's car?
We did later change the design of the mechanisms to make it harder to do, but yeah. Back in the 70s, it wasn't hard.
Most people left their cars open in the 70s around here too. So
Yeah. Or you had a car, you're like, please steal it. I have another car that
Solly's, please steal it.
Wow, Solly's. We got ours from Acon Pontiac. I'm like, well, how can you have a dealership called Acon?
Yeah.
Well, because that's their last name.
I know. and it was funny because you were talking about Whitey's Garage.
Yeah.
I forgot my dad had a customer whose name was John Black. He had Blackies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a white guy
for
with
his
Blackies. Yeah, so
we
it's
used to work
Blackies and
for his son.
Whiteys.
Yeah. What's his son's name? Dave.
Dave Black. Yeah.
We always went to Jack's.
Jack's. Out in Darlington.
Out in Darlington. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Another one of my dad's customers. I used to go on his route with him.
Used to watch
Oh,
him
those
walk
are the
around the
days.
garage. The guy was impressive because his one leg was completely paralyzed from polio, and he
Wow.
got around well.
Hey, Dan,
Eric,
my
yes.
dad told me that he and my grandpa helped clear out your grandpa's junkyard. I didn't even know there
That was my great uncle, not my grandfather.
your great uncle. Okay.
That was Louis Rosenberg.
Okay.
It's now where Beaver Falls High School is. That
Yeah.
was the junkyard.
That is crazy.
Also, it
I
went
did not
downhill.
know that. My dad was one of the guys who helped clear that out.
There
Yeah,
goes the
my-
neighborhood. They just turned that lovely junkyard into a Beaver Falls High School.
Yeah. And they turned the high school into middle school.
Yeah.
But yeah, my grandfather and his brother they started Rosenberg's Auto Recycling, and then they had like a big feud, and they
Oh.
broke up. And my grandfather got a car lot in New Brighton, apparently.
Oh, okay.
That's right across the bridge.
Okay.
Did other people go to the Army surplus store down there by the river?
That was another member of my family.
Oh, okay. We used to go there.
There was the Rosenberg. Oh, my mom would remember who it was.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Ed, we forgot you were here. When everybody was
Memories.
gone, I forgot.
That's right. We're still on the air. I forgot. This is the post show.
It's Dead Air Live.
It is. We have now transitioned successfully.
You said, what are we doing this weekend? We worked on cars and then it transitioned. Sorry.
And returning to Clutch Radio.
The
All right,
dealership,
cool.
there's a big dealership right now, right across from where the cow used to be.
There we go.
That they have. It's really weird because their whole slogan now is Bubba Beaver.
Beaver.
And the whole reason was because they used to do their Kia ads and they were ripping off the Chia Pet commercial.
Wow.
Kia. And then
That
they
used to be Linda
decided now to
Jones.
stutter all of their ads. It's just so dumb.
That's really dumb.
Yeah, there's like a Hyundai, a Nissan, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep.
Yep.
The whole
Cross,
corner.
cross 51 from where the
Chevy
state
dealership
police
now,
barracks
too.
used to be. They're not still there, are they? The state police
Minutes from the mall.
State police? I don't know.
The barracks used to be right across the road there from the cow
Yeah.
up on the.
Yeah,
hill
now
there.
it's Rachel Bauman Klein has a
Is that where Stericlean is?
that's
Yeah.
what Stericlean is.
They have
Wow.
lots of them in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
And
Before
surplus,
we're out of the
surplus
tears.
truck parking for the Dodge dealer.
They don't need that anymore.
Yeah, there's not as many of them now.
all right.
All right. It was lovely seeing you all on this lovely extended weekend.
We got to get off early because we have 2 movies to watch.
Yes, seriously. Do you have till next Sunday? Now, next Sunday at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. What's the deal? What's the deal with next Sunday? What's better for people?
I mean, I think summer hours 6 is probably a better time. 6, 9 is probably a better time.
I don't know. Some of us have to work Mondays normally. You know?
Yeah, tomorrow is maybe a special occasion for a lot
All right,
of
we'll
people.
do 5
Most
next,
people
5, 8
work
next week.
All
We'll
right.
stick with 5, 8.
5 and 8 next week. Well, and also, if you want to be sure that you never miss a show, you need to make sure that you are following the Facebook page for EriDan.
Yeah.
Which, if you just go to eridanshow.com, you'll get to the Facebook page.
I have to change that back. It's not there. By the way, the Cody story, he was live streaming himself bartending last night.
Oh,
And so he sent $10 to buy drinks for the bar. $10? I mean,
Wow.
Was there a half a person at the bar,
What bar was that?
or was he working at the Foreign
Brownies
Legion
in.
or the American Legion?
That's awesome. Well,
You
check
dollar a
out
drink.
Cody's live stream if you want to watch him bartend, as well as play video games. So there you
Is he
go.
doing your Tom Cruise and cocktail routine?
Oh, here we go. Boro Bar.
Oh,
Euro bar. Okay.
So I mean, for $10, how many drinks can you give out? It was happy hour and the bar was dead. Okay,
it's not very happy.
$2 Chuck, you get 5 people taken care of right there.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Well, that's fun.
That
That
was
is
nice.
fun.
Oh, it was $2
There's
shots.
shots.
Oh, there you go.
There
He
you
was
go.
having time with you, Dan.
It's
He was
more
seeing
than
other
enough for us, Gabe.
pastors behind your back.
Oh, geez, Adam.
Well, there you go. All right.
Well, we'll have a comedy show soon, so Adam can come here in person, and we'll live stream it maybe for the
Yeah,
Yeah,
first
the numbers are climbing though. It's scary.
the COVID numbers.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah,
We're back.
wear
in
your
high-
masks, people. The masks work.
Yep.
I went to a wedding. I also didn't wear a hat, so I think I got it through my bald spot.
Probably.
And this whole time I've been wearing a hat during the entire pandemic. No COVID. One night I go out without a hat on.
Yeah, it could have been my problem too.
That's true.
That might be it.
It's true.
Or
Goes
not
through-
wearing the mask in the crowd. That was
It's really it's all your nose. I've done so much research on COVID in the last week. It all goes in through your nose.
You're an expert now.
I'm not an
probably
expert.
more so than the
You're
other
a viral expert.
Welcome to Dr. Dan.
I've,
Oh,
well,
my.
you know, I
We haven't watched Dr. Detroit yet.
Oh, I used to love that movie.
Doctor.
Doctor Detroit.
Can I just do that?
See how you did.
All right.
All right,
What's-
everybody
what-
get some rest.
Eric,
Yep.
before we go, what's on your T-shirt?
Huh? This would be a cat that says "Let's get weird."
Oh, okay. Is that available in the
You
EriDan
pointed
shop?
out that would have been better for me to have wear during when we watched a street cat named Bob.
Yeah.
If you do want merch, there is merch.
Yeah, this shirt not available.
Not available.
No, you got to go to Walmart if you get one of this lovely
Okay.
piece of merch. Yeah,
All right.
and like 8 years ago. So there you go. All right, everybody, have yourself a lovely week. We will see you next Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday at 5 and 8.
All right. Good
Bye.
night.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.